Russia had been making gains in the key city known as Fortress Bakhmut, but their progress has ground to a halt as its soldiers are now facing a slaughterfest. The battle for the city has been raging for nearly 8 months in eastern Ukraine and has seen some of the fiercest fighting since the Russian invasion. The fighting between troops has continued, and the meat grinder-style death toll has marked a bloodbath that has been compared to the fighting scene in World War I. Despite their battle talk, the Russians are reported to have lost over 170,000 men along with 3,600 tanks. And it's believed Putin rolled out obsolete tanks some as late as the 1940s to try and replenish his army. A convoy of Russian tanks was seen walking along a road in the area before being destroyed by fierce Ukrainian forces. This is the incredible moment a column of Russian tanks was wiped out one by Ukrainian Marines using US-made Javelin missiles. As the Russian military moves towards the Ukrainian capital, Kiev, the US-made Javelin anti-tank missile is in the spotlight. These weapons gave the outnumbered Ukrainian soldiers the opportunity to wreak havoc on their attackers. The light but lethal weapon allows soldiers in Ukraine to inflict serious damage on Russian tanks and artillery. Ukrainian small combat units, equipped with the West's most advanced anti-tank systems, have been able to take advantage of the terrain they are familiar with and move to positions where they can attack Russian convoys. One such system is the FGM-148 Javelin, a state-of-the-art portable fire-and-forget anti-tank system that can lock onto and hit moving targets from a distance of 8,200 feet, 2,500 meters. Another major contributor to Russia's desperate situation is the Saab Bofors Dynamics-designed NLAW, which has proven to be highly effective against Russian tanks. Additionally, Ukraine's locally manufactured Stugna P anti-tank missile has been acclaimed for its effectiveness from the start of the invasion. The TOW missile is another weapon that Ukrainian forces have been using to great effect. It is tube-launched and optically tracked, and a wire-guided missile that can be manually steered towards its target by the operator. The Ukrainians have been using more advanced weapons with a higher kill probability to ensure that they hit these tanks and bring the entire column to a halt. Once a column is immobilized, Ukrainian forces can engage and destroy the vehicle sandwiched between the immobilized front and rear vehicles with less expensive weapons like AT-4s and RPG-7s. This tactic has proven to be highly effective, and it has resulted in the loss of a significant number of Russian tanks. A video appears to show Ukrainian Marines attacking several vehicles in a Russian armored column using a US-made Javelin. The video, shared on social media by Ukraine's 36th Marine Brigade, is intercut with footage of the drone strike with clips of Ukrainian soldiers firing a portable anti-tank system. As the weapons strike, tanks and other armored vehicles explode and catch fire. One tank is seen returning fire before it is struck and immobilized, smoke billowing from it. At one point in the video, 3 desperate Russian soldiers can be seen jumping out of a burning vehicle and running away from it. Near the end of the video, one of the blazing vehicles blows up, causing a massive explosion. Ukraine has successfully used the weapons to strike Russian armor and vehicles, and some experts have estimated that Russia has likely lost more than half of its operational tanks in Ukraine. Nearly 10,000 Russian vehicles and other equipment have been documented to have been destroyed, damaged, or captured, according to Oryx, an open-source intelligence analysis platform. The anti-tank missile has been developed by defense contractors Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. The missile automatically guides itself to the target after the launch of the fire-and-forget system, allowing the gunner to take cover and avoid counterattacks or to load new missiles. It also has a softer start, making it hard for enemies to see where it's launching from. To fire, the gunner places the cursor over the selected target, and the Javelin command launch unit then sends a lock-on before launch signal to the missile. With its soft launch design, the Javelin can be fired safely from inside a building or bunker. Using a curved upper attack profile, the Javelin climbs above its target for increased visibility and then strikes where its armor is weakest. That is why it is called the Javelin, representing the path of a spear thrown in a track and field event that falls to earth at a steep angle. The Javelin missile has a range of 2.5 miles and can be fielded during the day as well as at night. Since they also have a thermal scanner, the Javelin can target any type of vehicle that gives off heat. It can be operated by a single soldier, though more hands are required to carry the additional launch tubes. Javelins can also target enemies if there is protection above them. The 46-pound shoulder-fired gun can also target helicopters. The Javelin is the most advanced and effective weapon that Ukraine has. Although there is no official data on the number of guns destroyed by the Javelins in Ukraine, they destroyed 280 armored vehicles out of 300 shots fired. When the Russians learned that Ukraine now had Javelins, their T-72 tanks became less aggressive and withdrew farther from the front lines, citing US military officials in the early days of the war. Missiles are very effective at penetrating reactive armor, which is covered by most tanks. This type of armor is packed with a small number of explosives that detonates any incoming warhead. But the Javelin is designed to get past that. Plus, it's easier to teach people to use these missiles, which can prove useful for Ukraine where civilians are lining up to take part in the battle. Video footage shared online shows how Ukrainian troops continue to use the Javelin surface-to-air missile, one of the first advanced missiles delivered by the West after the outbreak of war, to destroy Russian tanks and military vehicles. The footage not only shows the damage the missile can do, but also shows how easy it is for a soldier to operate. The clip shows a Russian T-64BV tank hidden in a forest, the Javelin missile apparently causing major damage to the tank, although the operator continues to attempt to move the vehicle even after being hit. Finally, the tank ceased to function and was completely engulfed in flames. The video also shows a Russian MTLB armored personnel carrier that appears to have been destroyed by the same type of weapon. The situation in Ukraine remains tense, and the conflict shows no signs of abating. However, the Ukrainian military has shown itself to be highly capable and well-equipped, and it has been able to inflict significant losses on the Russian military. The use of advanced anti-tank systems and tactics has proven to be highly effective, and it is likely that Ukraine will continue to use these weapons to great effect in the future.